Hey, what's going on, guys? Just want to drop in, do a quick video. Just got home from work not too long ago, and today at work, if you guys haven't seen some other videos, I work part-time at a liquor store, you know, just stocking shelves, stuff like that. But today I normally carry my Zan to work for this, not the sole reason, but for a major reason, is my Zan has actually a very fat tip for an Zan. It's peculiar. Most Zans have a thinner tip, and this one has a fairly beefy tip. So I carry it into work because a lot of times to cut open boxes for display that have liquor or that have bottles in them, you don't want to stab in, cut. You know, I hold it up here like this and do a lot of just tip cutting. So with a thicker tip, it's less likely to get damaged, and with it sharp and a nice convex, it still cuts the boxes quite well. So I've been using this, and it's been working wonderfully. But today I figured I'd try my little homemade customized Manix at work today. I polished this side a little bit more, took this to 2000 grit sandpaper, and this side's still regular 150 or 120, whatever it is. But anyway, that's another video. Took this in just to try this out, see, you know, what the hell, let's see if this would work well. And it actually worked quite well. The one hit on the Zan for doing, let's call it precision box cutting, specifically for the sheer reason when there's contents inside of a box that either A, you don't want to cut, or B, can damage your, you know, could dull your knife. And you only want to just get enough in to get through the cardboard. The upper swedge on the Zan isn't exactly comfortable to put your finger on, to put pressure on to do a cut. So you kind of have to hold it like this, which is okay, but you know, that's how you have to do it. The Manix, since it's flat, yeah, I can come up here, put my finger right at that top, poke the blade, poke the very fine tip. I mean, the Manix is it's a thicker stock, you know, it's not abnormally thick, it's not like an SMF or anything, but it's got a decent stock. But the hollow grind, or the saber grind, goes to the tip, and it carries through in the very tip of the knife. So it actually has a very thin, very precision-like tip. So I could get right up there, and since the tip's so thin, I mean, this pierces and cuts very well. Just stick enough into the box. Yes, you can make perverted jokes anytime along this commentary, but stick just enough into the box, and then so my finger's against the box, and I can just run it down the length of the box I need to cut, and pretty much with less concentration, with ease, I just barely cut through the cardboard and don't damage anything inside without worrying as much, because my finger is in the box. Like if I go like this, you know, just enough blades coming through, but now my finger's stopping it, so that's my cut right there, and it follows through. I can, but it's not as comfortable to do on the Zan. So this was actually really nice to have, and when I just had to process some boxes, cut up cardboard for dividers and stuff like that, it cut well. It got through the cardboard well, despite having a very, you know, a thick stock. How much, or was it easier because I sanded it down and took the shoulders off of this? How much easier was it because of that? I don't know. Was it easier because of that? I don't know. I want to think it does, so the effort I put into sanding this down was worth it, but who knows? I want to say I think it does. It makes sense too, because instead of having a jagged shoulder right here, it's now, as you can tell, a very smooth down, lesser of a shoulder. So success. This is actually a very good box cutter processor. You can have nice tip control and still have your fingers in these choils. So it was very pleasant to work with. The 154 cm held up fine. I didn't run it across any glass bottles because I was able to control the tip so well, and just because I'm more experienced, I'm more used to doing this now than the first week or two when I would carry, you know, this mostly, and I ran it across some bottles. But the knife didn't dull, I don't think. At the end of the day, I was still, it was still going through boxes just fine, but we'll test it out a little bit. I have sorry I'm moving you guys, but I have some not computer paper, phone book paper, and we'll start. Once you get, there you go. And I'm not trying to go straight through the paper. I'm trying to drag the whole knife across. More of a slicing cut, not a push cut. I don't care about a push cut in this test just because I'm not testing how sharp I can get it. I'm testing how well it stayed. This wasn't push cutting phone book paper sharp really to begin with. This was slicing sharp. And if I can actually cut it right, let's see. It just, I don't know if it's the phone book paper or what, but it won't grab in right away here, but then you see down here is a smooth cut. Like if I hold it like this, I mean that's smooth. But for some reason it doesn't like to get started. But there you go. It's finicky or I'm retarded, either one. But there you go. So, and I am pulling across. I'm trying to use the whole. See, when I start slow, it doesn't work. But I'm trying to use the whole edge, and it's working fairly well. Still pierces just fine and cuts out. That was really using the tip, and that's pretty smooth. So 154 cm stood up well to, I guess, a medium day in box cutting and processing. It definitely wasn't a lot. You know, I've done other days where I've done more with the emblems on. But I've also, in those same days, I've also run it across glass, so I can't really make a scientific observation. It's just, sometimes I feel there's a lot of, well, what steel can handle, what's good for EDC, is this too soft, is this doesn't have enough edge retention. And the fact of the matter is, I had a working day with this knife. 154 cm, nothing stellar. You know, if you say, oh, this knife's 154 cm to somebody, they'll say, okay, not bad. And that's the impression you get. But okay, not bad in a real day's work. I mean, unless you're, I don't even know, unless you're on a farm, unless you severely use your knife a lot, this is going to be, I think this is going to be fine for 90% of the people out there. I used it on an honest day's work. It's still phone book paper slicing sharp, so it more than enough has a working edge. I can probably take this into work tomorrow and the next day without touching it up. Granted, I don't drag it across any glass. And it should still work. So, and touching it up is easy as anything. I mean, literally, I can go through it for you real quick. I don't know how much sharper I can get it because it's really not sharp, but we can give it a shot. You know, but it's easy to sharpen. I mean, this is 800 grit sandpaper. It's used, so I don't know how good this is going to be. I didn't really think I would do this. But it's easy to touch up. You know, most steels are. You know, some people made videos about reprofiling versus honing, or, you know, actual sharpening versus honing. Whether you call it sharpening or honing, it doesn't matter, but it touches up easy. So, well, once again, guys, it wasn't exactly dull, but, you know, look at that. I mean, that actually didn't hang up at all. That's all right. So that's actually really sharp. I didn't think I can get it that sharp, but so I mean, there you have it. It wasn't that sharp a minute ago because it was hanging up in the beginning cuts a little bit, but now, I mean, that glid through fairly well. Just what'd that take? Literally 20 seconds. 25 seconds on 800 grit sandpaper. So even if you're more intensive in using it, let's call it a lesser steel, such as 154 cm compared to S90V, LMAX, Manix, whatever. Realistically, to sharpen it up, to touch it up, isn't going to take you long at all. I mean, I came home, I made dinner, I'm about to drink some very fine whiskey, and just wind down, you know, tie up the loose ends of the day, wind down, and it would take you, what, 2 minutes to touch it up? So, I honestly don't think steel is as big of, I don't want to say as important. The good steel is important with a good heat treat and everything, but whether you have on a folder like this, where it's a value folder, whether you have S30V, 154 cm, 8CR MOV, 14CR MOV, whatever, something below S30V, I don't think it matters that much. Granted, if you're paying $500 for a custom, honestly, I'm not going to want to pay $500 for a custom with 154 cm. Maybe CPM 154, but once again, that's all in my head. That's all preconceived notions that I've acquired through forums and through videos and through other people's knowledge, not my own experience. So, I mean, granted, yes, if you're gonna pay a lot for a high value custom or even a high value production knife because you're paying a lot, yeah, you're gonna want a super steel, you're gonna want something rare, you're gonna want something exotic because you're paying for it, or you feel like you are with the higher price. But that doesn't mean a value folder with a steel that's not exotic or rare or a pain in the ass to grind isn't worth it. They make perfectly fine EDCs. They make perfectly fine steels to cut with. So that's my, I don't even know if you want to call it a rant, but that's my little informative video. That's my update for maybe purpose of knives to have. And just a little update between an Zan and a Manix where, and Chris Reeve's Zan, Chris Reeve Zan, which is probably my favorite knife at the moment. Here's a job where a Manix, not even a full flat round one, does the job just as well. No hits on either one. I mean, I'm not trying to bring anyone up or bring anybody down. I'm just saying, sometimes you don't need a $500 knife. Sometimes you want one because you want one, and I sure as hell want one because I love this damn knife, my favorite knife. So that's my little rant, talk, whatever. Just getting things out and talking after the end of a day. Take it for what it's worth. I hope you guys get a little something out of it, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching, guys.